What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley, that's Scott Savage, and you can join us each and every day over at InsideTheGame.ca. Our friends over at Fired Up Network, all across their 212 platforms, just like Spotify, SoundCloud, and a whole lot more. And don't forget, you can join us on YouTube at Inside the Game Official, and of course those beautiful TV streaming networks around the globe. I'm talking about Roku, Amazon Prime, Samsung Plus, ESTV, Jinx Esports TV, and a whole lot more. Scott, what's on today's show?
Oh, we're starting off with a bit of a puzzling situation with Red Dead Redemption's so-called conversion. We'll get into that. Xbox may be going digital only for the next step. We'll have to see. And Assassin's Creed microtransactions have reared their ugly head.
Oh boy. All that and more on today's show, so let's get going. Scott, topic number one kind of has me disappointed, to say the least. We talked about it last week. Red Dead Redemption Remaster. Well, not so much. Red Dead Redemption fans protest. Of course they do. Release they're calling overpriced, lacking new features. This is Logan Plant over at IGN. Rockstar revealed that 2010's Red Dead Redemption and its Undead Nightmare expansion are coming to PS4 and Nintendo Switch on August 17th, with physical editions to follow on October 13th. Rockstar is calling the port a, quote, conversion, end quote, rather than a remaster or remake. The company is charging, dude, are you ready for this? $50 for this iteration of the game. Why isn't this like 20 bucks? It's coming to PS4, Switch. It's already on the Xbox through backwards compatibility, right? It is mind-blowing that this is coming out now for PS4 and the Switch at $50. And the other question is, why isn't it a remake? But before you answer that question, Scott, let me finish this off. Red Dead Redemption players on social media are upset about Red Dead Redemption's price, missing multiplayer. Well, dude, they killed off multiplayer for Red Dead 2. You think you're going to get Red Dead 1 multiplayer? You're crazy. The lack of a PC release is also there. Don't forget that one. PC never saw Red Dead Redemption. What?
Yeah, that's something I hadn't considered at all.
Yep. It doesn't help the matters that rumors about Red Dead Redemption Remake have been flying for weeks following a fresh rating for the game in South Korea. Fans got their hopes up over a full-blown remake, with many clamoring for a version that would put the original in line with Red Dead Redemption 2 in a similar manner to how The Last of Us Part 1 is now visually similar to The Last of Us Part 2. Makes sense. Red Dead Redemption, here's what everybody wanted, a remake. The map is in Red Dead Redemption 2 already. There you go. 60 frames per second. Dual sense features when you're on PlayStation, obviously. Only current version, PS5, Series X, and good for PC. The ultimate version is another thing they wanted. Here's what everybody got. 30 frames per second port. No remake or remaster, and nothing in 60 frames. But that's not what Rockstar is delivering. Instead, fans are disappointed that Red Dead Redemption on PlayStation 4 and Switch appears to look visually similar to the original PS3 and Xbox 360 versions. Rockstar also didn't announce 60 frames support for the new port, leading fans to believe it will run at the original game's 30 frames per second. The problem became even more glaring when the community realized that Red Dead Redemption is already playable on the Xbox Series X in 4K, which was quickly pointed out online. Imagine that. Somebody pointed that out right away, Scott. Let the console wars begin. Thanks to the Xbox Series X and S, more robust backwards compatibility with previous generations of Xbox, Red Dead Redemption has been accessible on Microsoft's platform for years. The new release is not coming to Xbox, but that's surely because the original 360 version is available right now on the Xbox store. In addition, the $50 price tag attached to the new PS4 and Switch versions doesn't look great next to the $30 price tag on the Xbox, Scott. What?
Yeah.
Who, dude, who's doing this? Why are we doing this? This doesn't make any sense to me. I am so, man, you're coming out on something that is what, now at this point, 13 years old. A conversion, Scott, not even a port. I'm still calling it a port because I'm pretty sure it's a port in my eyes. And in layman's terms, we'll call it a port, people. $50 for PS4, not PS5, and $50 for Switch. Granted, first time you can get on the Switch. That's what the trailer showcased too. That was the biggest thing, right? Coming out on the Switch, big trailer reveal. Woohoo! Great. It's a 13-year-old game. It looks like a 13-year-old game. And granted, it is, dude, it's a fantastic game.
On a now 7-year-old console as well. So it's about high time that Red Dead made its way over to Switch. But to call it a conversion, yeah, it's a different game, but don't get me started on my old cowboy voices. But everybody, myself included, was super excited to see a new, fresh set of paint.
Yeah.
A new, not a conversion. I'm not sure what that even means in terms of technical terms, but to see it come out this way is disappointing. But I'm thinking it must be an error on the marketing side, because there is something to... It's hard to grasp here, but getting it onto the Switch is a good move. There's no reason to suggest that's a bad move.
No.
Getting it on PlayStation via backwards compatibility or otherwise is still a good move.
Yep.
But if it was brought out in a different way, perhaps a more transparent way from the start, we would all be celebrating this instead of really feeling ripped off. Because my immediate thought is, okay, well, they did not do it for the Series console, the PlayStation 5. Is that to leave the door open? Are we going to be sold the Red Dead remaster in 1 year's time?
This is a money grab. But granted, on the other side of it, right, when you talk about now, PlayStation owners and Switch owners have access to play the game. I don't know. I can't understand for the life of me why is $20 above the Xbox version. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, whoever lined that up made a mistake. And of course, fans are going to be in an uproar right now. Oh, we can buy over here for $30, but yet you're charging us $50 over here on PS4 and the Switch. That's a mistake right there. There should have been $30 in line with the Xbox. The other side of it, though, dude, is yeah, everybody's going to be able to play it now, but the rumors, dude, it's the rumors that caught us all, right? That was it. Rockstar never announced this was coming until just the other day. So this is on us. So when you take a look at it and go, why isn't it a remaster? Oh, because Rockstar never said they were making a remaster. That was just all rumors. So in hindsight, dude, the rumors bit us, which is the ultimate hype that we were building for it. It's just a bit of a disappointment when we finally get the announcement, get the reveal of, yeah, it's really just a conversion. When everybody's been asking for so long, and with the Korea rating board going on, everybody just went into full rumor mode and go, remaster on the way. And here we are. It is not a remaster. Which...
Well, to port a game after 13 years was surprising enough.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be too harsh on us that we're very excited to see this, because it is just more supposedly, seemingly good news from an IP that's well beloved.
That's just it. Does this line us up, though, like you say, in a year from this time to get a full remaster? Don't charge us $50 now for PS4 and Switch owners to then get the remaster a year later. You want to talk about another uproar, Scott? That's what's going to happen if that scenario does play out, right? Or do we just get it into everybody's hands now and go, okay, hey, now that you have GTA 6 in 2 years from now, here is Red Dead 3. This is what we're working on next. We have a small team that's already been started on it, blah, 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 and away we go, right? Continue on that legacy. Dude, this wasn't gonna get, even when I was thinking remaster, I still wasn't expecting the online component. They shut down on the Red Dead 2 online. Why would they even worry about the older version? That's not something they would even do. Rockstar is looking forward. How do they keep the money flow going? First of all, it's GTA. GTA is what keeps that money going, right? Without a doubt, it's the biggest IP in the industry, if not in the entertainment industry. You know, GTA just makes buckets of money each and every day. That's where their focus is on. They're not going to worry about bringing over an old online component for a game that's 13 years old.
No, unless they were going to revamp it, but at that point, just put that resources into a remaster, for example.
Yes, absolutely. And dude, I'm still clamoring for a remaster. I would love a remaster to feel like Red Dead 2.
I think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see Rockstar take a look at the commotion this has caused and go, we've heard your feedback. we're working on a couple things, and that's what I'd expect the next messaging to be.
Oh man, can you imagine? That's what they do. What we don't need though is the GTA trilogy.
Oh no, we must bully them into a better product than that.
Yo, I'll take a remaster of Bully anytime as well. Just staying in there, Rockstar. Just coming out with ideas for you. Absolutely, dude. Bully was so good.
What happened to that sequel?
I don't know. It must have died or something. Let us know though over on Twitter at the official ITG. Did this get you a little up in arms? Because it sure did with a lot of other people. Scott, topic number 2. Speaking of rumors, Microsoft is planning a digital-only Xbox Series X. It's claimed. Tom Henderson over Insider Gaming. According to Special Nick of the Xbox Era podcast, Microsoft is currently planning to release a digital-only version of the Xbox Series X. The rumored console could suggest that Microsoft is planning a mid-generation refresh of the console, somewhat similar to how Sony is planning a detachable disc drive version of the PS5. Nick didn't delve into any additional information apart from some brief speculation that the revision could make the console smaller and lighter. If true, the revision wouldn't at all be surprising in our opinion. As disc content continues to decline, it makes sense for both Xbox and Sony to get rid of disc drives as a means to reduce production and shipping costs. In fact, we've heard rumblings, not yet, still kind of in conversation, that the next generation of consoles, which is anticipated to release in 2028, are currently planned to have no disc drives altogether. Scott, it's a digital future.
Thought. Going to the thinking all the way up to the PlayStation 6, just leaving discs in the past. I'm not sure if I'm ready to do that yet, but there is a lot to be said about these disc-less forms of the consoles. The Series S, I suppose, comes to mind. I have a Series X, though, so I just don't think about it much. But the idea that this could reduce cost, would we see that in terms of a reduction to consumer cost? Or is this really a back-end kind of means of saving a little bit?
That's, I think, the other question, right? I also have a Series X, and dude, it's got the disc drive. I have yet to put anything in that disc drive. Like, how old is this console? I play a lot of
Blu-rays.
Dude, I don't play any Blu-rays. All movies, music, and games, they're all digital for me, right? I've moved on. I'm past the collecting, besides all my figures behind me. That's a little different. And so, yeah. But when it comes to the collectibles, like, this is going to hurt some people, man, who want that disc version, right? And now we're getting into that discless side of things. I'm curious if Xbox would have done this at the beginning, where they would be for the console race, we'll call it. Granted, when you take a look at the library, obviously things line up a little bit differently, but PlayStation came out with a PlayStation 5 with a disc, and then PlayStation 5 without the disc, right? Because they were just gonna go digital. So there's two options there, where Xbox focused on the Xbox Series X, which is the more powerful console, and had a disc drive, and then the S, which didn't have a disc drive, I believe, right? It's only digital, Scott, but it's the lesser of the two. So it would have been curious to see if they kind of would have went head to head, but now we're getting into Xbox going, we're going to get rid of that disc drive altogether, possibly, right? This is all rumors and speculations, so just kind of take it with a grain of salt. But it is that opportunity for them to take out the price, drop it down a little bit, be a little bit more competitive when it comes to the hardware side of things, and try to play catch up once again. Right now, we've heard from Phil Spencer, who says they're at the bottom of the three when it comes to the three major players, right? PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox. So they're trying to play catch up. How do you do that? Well, first of all, I don't really think your disc drive is really going to matter. I think it comes down to the library, Scott. It really comes down to what games are we playing on the consoles, where right now we've seen PlayStation just kind of skyrise right past them because they have some of the biggest heavy hitting titles around. Granted, September 6th is just around the corner. If you know what that means, it is Starfield, which is anticipated to be one of the best games this year. Dude, what a year for games.
I'm really getting worried it's going to fall on its own sword because of the hype that we're all creating about it, but I can't help myself. I really expect Starfield to be excellent. But if this is to be believed, I wonder if this is a way of phasing out the Series S and kind of bringing that secondary no disk drive alternative. Make it X. We're at X level of hardware. Hopefully that'll stop issues from having the Xbox port not come immediately. We've seen that with Baldur's Gate.
Yep.
So I'm hoping that this it could make a lot of sense, because Xbox is always trying to drive the Game Pass connection, and Game Pass, of course, is not physical. So this would support that and kind of just slowly corral everybody into the Game Pass pen.
But we've seen this games merge over from Xbox One X over into the Xbox Series, right? And there's a struggle between the two when you're always going cross-gen to try and make sure the game fits on both platforms. Well, not only do they have those two platforms, but then they also have the S, which is another platform. So typically now, if you're developing for Xbox, you're going for the Xbox One, the Xbox One X, the Xbox Series S, and then the Xbox Series X. If you're on PlayStation, you are PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Pro, and then the PS5. There's only one SKU of PS5s when it comes to the actual hardware, minus the disc, right? But there's only one spec they're trying to make the game for, and not have to worry about competing with another spec. You brought up Baldur's Gate, which is a fantastic point to make, because right now Baldur's Gate didn't launch on the Xbox because they're struggling to make co-op work on the S, which is the underpowered console. So here we are, where you just make one SKU, drop the disc drive, hopefully drop the price for consumers, and then that puts them a little bit more comparable and more competitive. Interesting to think of, Scott, a future with just no discs at all. Scott, this should come as no surprise, but latest leak seems to confirm that microtransactions in Assassin's Creed Mirage are on the way. Who is surprised by this? Not me. If you played an Assassin's Creed game, you know all too well, that there's going to be something there. This is Ricky Fretch.
Have you played games in the last few years? Well,
right?
We're going to see a microtransaction somewhere.
Absolutely. Ricky Fretch over at comicbook.com. When Assassin's Creed Mirage releases on October 12th, it's set to be a return to the franchise's roots in many ways. Not only is it putting the focus back on stealth assassinations, going back to the roots is what I want to be, compared to the modern games, but it's also going to have a much shorter runtime than the increasingly bloated offerings the series has been known for in the last few entries. That said, it doesn't look like Ubisoft is completely leaving the modern games behind, as a recent leak is seemingly confirming that Assassin's Creed Mirage will include microtransactions. The leak was spotted by a Redditor on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit. They noted that a Twitter user who goes by the name of X Jonathan we've heard of him, we've covered him before in the past on the platform, posted an image showing off the microtransactions that will apparently be included. At the time of writing, the image has been removed due to copyright, but you can still find backups on Reddit and other places. The long and short of it is that fans will be greeted by various cosmetics, no kidding, cosmetic microtransactions when they boot up Assassin's Creed Mirage. Of course, this isn't new for the Assassin's Creed franchise. Since moving to more RPG-focused gameplay, Ubisoft has steadily provided fans for ways to purchase all kinds of cosmetics. Even before that, the team sold booster-style upgrades that could speed up your playtime if desired. Scott?
Yeah, those are the ones that I really don't appreciate. Yeah. Those boosters, the kind of XP save, because that's put directly in a way to contrast from the bloat that people are not happy with. So I'm hoping we stay away from that. But the idea of cosmetics, it still seems a little strange to me, because we're playing Basim and he's kind of his own burgeoning story. So I'm not going to want to make him look like Ezio.
Well, that's the thing, dude. There's been an Ezio skin in every Assassin's Creed game from launch of Ezio. Like, that's just, dude, you go back in time. There's an Ezio skin. There's an Ezio skin. As of lately, we've had, like, Cassandra skins have been in there. Who else? Okay. Like, Bayek is in there. Dude, like, everybody is in there. Like, they just keep bringing over these skins. And granted, if you want to use that skin, that's cool. That's up to you. For me, I find, like, Basim is Basim. I'm not going to put on the Ezio skin. Ezio is a legend in his own right and can have his own game. That's how I feel personally. But they're going to come out with microtransactions. I am not surprised to hear this whatsoever. This is Ubisoft. And microtransactions have been such a thing. But if it's only cosmetics, dude, I'm okay with that. Like, either you buy it or you don't, and just move on, play the game.
Yeah, that's okay with me. That's where I draw the line. Cosmetics is alright. I might think it's kind of silly, but that's up to you. And when it comes to XP kind of skips and shortcuts, I don't like that.
Well, yeah, that's the other side of it, right? What are all of these microtransactions going to be? Are they going to be some of the extra perks that will help you get advantage in the game? And again, some people will buy that, right? They put it there for a reason. Dude, these things sell.
Oh. What if they're just different kind of stealth kills and such that we've seen kind of in Callisto Protocol? That comes to mind. Different death animations and things that I don't appreciate again.
Yeah, let's not do that. I want a complete game, right? It's one thing to have a complete game and then pay for DLC later on with more story content, this, that, and the other. But for the microtransactions, there's a fine line. We've seen EA get hammered with the whole Star Wars Battlefront side of things, right? Oh. And we've seen the rise of loot boxes come and go. We've seen the battle passes come in. And when it comes to Assassin's Creed, there is no multiplayer. So how do you get microtransactions going? You bring in cosmetics. So other skins,
horse armor,
cool. No, some things just never go away. But yeah, microtransactions, definitely one of those. Scott, this is a big one, dude. Stefan Totillo over at Axio tells us Take-Two Interactive execs pay doubled this year. That's because NBA 2K and Grand Theft Auto publisher Take-Two Interactive is paying its top 2 executives $72 million this year. A number that could go far higher based on some factors, including an uptick in player microtransaction spending. The pay disclosed in Take-Two's annual proxy filing to shareholders and offered as a mix of cash and stock is more than double the exec's 2022 compensation of only $30 million. Dude, microtransactions are just crushing it for Take-Two. This is nuts.
We will never be past microtransactions at this rate. And these companies, these CEOs are obviously quite successful. So good for them. But to say only 30 million? Oh, that hurts.
Well, there's so many people buying microtransactions, VC points when it comes to the NBA. Then you get the shark cards in Grand Theft Auto. Dude, the microtransactions are there, and they're just generating money left, right, and center. It's nuts. Well, Scott, we can't end the show off until, well, we tell you what you're going to be playing today. What's on the list?
We have Fluffy Milo on PlayStation 4. I really like that one.
Man,
30XX on PC and Nintendo Switch. Running Fable is now available on the Switch and the Xbox One and X.
And you're ready to go. Make sure to set up all the key items. Legend
Bowl is on Xbox One, XS, Switch, and PlayStation 4 and 5. Mondili, I think that's how you say that, is on PC, Xbox One, X, and the Nintendo Switch. And The Man Came Around on PC.
Nice. So there you go. Shout out to Fluffy Milo. Well, that'll wrap up today's show, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news each and every day. We'll be back again tomorrow. I'm Drew. That's Scott.
And we'll see you inside the game.